Hey, good morning everybody and welcome back to my channel. I have a story here that I want to share with you guys. We all know right now the Republican Party and Donald Trump is trying to figure out how the new health care bill is going to be. I guess it's going to be called Trump Care. So far, everything he has brought to the table has been an epic fail. We also know that the white supremacist terrorists, excuse me, that are Donald Trump supporters are they're extremely against Obamacare, even to the point where some of their, of Donald Trump's ignorant supporters are thinking that the health care that they're using right now, that they're praising right now, they think that it is it's Trump care, when in fact they're still using Obamacare. As of today, there is no Trump care. It is only Obamacare. And then we have all these Republicans that are complaining about black people are sucking up the black people and immigrants, are sucking up taxpayers' money, when we all know that none of that's true. Most of the tax dollars are going to white people in America. That's just the truth about what it is. But I wanted to bring this story to you because we need to see that that all of this money and all of these complaints are not, like, the complaints aren't legit. They're not. All of this money is going to white people and white neighborhoods, and a lot of money, a whole lot of money is going towards trying to treat these opiate addictions. I brought you guys other stories showing you that they have there's an epidemic of opiate use, of prescription medication, of heroin, of meth. And this is in the white communities. They're not telling you this because it doesn't fit their narrative. Okay, they don't want you to see that that they're the face of who's using Obamacare. They're the face of who's using all of these drugs. But they want you to think that it's immigrants and that it's black people and that they're just these outstanding citizens that just go to work and do their jobs and better communities, and they don't. They destroy communities, they destroy families. They're drug addicts. They're always sucking up resources from the system, and that's just how it is. They don't want you to have to use any of the resources because they want to use all of them. They want to get on their drugs. They want to shoot up heroin. They want to shoot up meth, smoke meth. They want to do all that stuff. They want to pop all these pharmaceutical drugs, and then they want Obamacare to pay for their treatment while they diss him and talk badly about the healthcare system. They're on Trump care, or they think they're on Trump care because they're just that ignorant when they're sitting there. And you always have this. You always have this group of people that want to sit back and complain and talk about people sucking up the resources on the system, and they're the ones doing it. Like, I don't get this. I don't get it. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. Like, I'm over them. Okay? They're sucking up the resources while they complain. They want to vote for Donald Trump, but Donald Trump can't even get a healthcare packet that passed Congress. He can't do it because he's too stupid. And they want to sit here on Obamacare while they talk mess about Obama. Obama's care is what's keeping them alive. They're sitting there popping their pills until they pass out, until they're on knocking on death's door, and then they call up Obamacare. Can you pay for me to go to treatment? None of these people should be able to get any Obamacare. You need to sit it out and wait until Trump come up with something. But that's not, they don't do that. They're not doing that. Let me play this story for you really quick.
They found me in an alleyway, dead.
I had 10 months clean. I had relapsed right after Christmas.
Took me to a hospital, and there I was put on life support for about 10 hours.
From there, I called my mom and I told her that I was getting high. If it weren't for Medicaid, I'd probably still be in my car, using crystal meth and heroin, if not dead.
This is ridiculous. So it says, as the opiate abuse epidemic ravages communities across the country, many people are turning to the government for help. Many white people, because they're the ones that are doing these opiates. That's them. Okay, so you see right here that they are sucking up your resources. We're paying taxes so that they can do their drugs and then go to treatment. Like, seriously? Amanda L. and Kurt F. are two of the 124,000, and this is just Pennsylvania residents who have received drug and alcohol treatment under the ACA-funded Medicaid expansion. These are white people, okay? These Pennsylvania residents. This is your middle and lower class suburbia white people that, you know, they're doing drugs because they want to, not because a lot of people in the Black community are depressed. They have to deal with racism. They have to deal with discrimination. They have to deal with the drugs that our government put on the streets and in the neighborhoods. These people, they go to their doctor and they get some pain pills because they want to get high. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. And they want to do these drugs, and then they get to the point where they're just like, either A, their doctors won't give them any more drugs, and so they have no choice but to try to get off of them, or they don't have the money to keep up with the drug habits, because you have to realize these drug habits are pretty expensive, you know, and so either they're going to try to get off of it, or like he said, he's living out of his car, and they're like, okay, well, this is too much. Where's Obamacare? All while I voted for Trump and I complained about immigrations and immigrants sucking up my resources and Black people being on Obamacare. Do you think these people are going to work while they're sitting in their cars doing drugs? No. They're sitting up getting benefits and food stamps while they're doing drugs in their cars and while she's passed out in back alleys. They're not working. They're not contributing to society. You know, they're not. They're being parasites.
I was always looking for a way to fit in, like a way to like get outside of myself, because I didn't like myself. 15, I started drinking and smoking weed, and 16, I was on heroin.
I didn't grow up with my biological dad around, so I know how that feels, and like that's kind of what started me on the process of like getting high, because I just felt like
where are they taking responsibility for their own actions? Because it sounds like they're just making excuses for why they're on drugs. There's no taking responsibility. I don't get this. They're like, oh, I'm a victim, please feel sorry for me while I suck up state resources. Give me a break.
My dad can't love me, like how can anyone else?
Government Tom Wolf has had to confront the crisis in Pennsylvania head on. I wonder if they're going to bring in the National Guards to kill these people. You know, because if it was a black neighborhood, that's what they would need to do. They would need to build some more prisons, bring in the National Guards, bring in some more police officers. That's always their answer when it has something to do with the black community. It's never what can we do to help these people? What can we do to get them into treatment? Please, if anyone sees any news article or video showing the governor or the senator or anything saying, let's bring in some treatment centers to help these black people get off of the drugs that we brought and put on their streets. Because even though they admitted to bringing the drugs in and putting them out on the streets for year after year after year, they admitted to doing that. You never saw, because we did this, now we're going to come in and put in these free treatment centers and help you guys get off of these drugs. Okay? Since we know that these drugs that we put on the streets are the cause of these mass incarceration of all these black men, let us now turn these prisons into treatment centers and help these guys rebuild their lives so that they can go back into the community and build strong communities. You don't see them doing that. Okay, so we really need to look at things and really look at what they're telling you and look at what they're not telling you. Okay, because they always have these stories where they want to sit there and act like, oh, all these poor white people, they're victims of these drugs that they're going to get from their own doctor. They're victims, so let's do what we can to help them. Let's get them into these treatment centers. Let's get them some work experience. Let's really help them. But we have no responsibility to go into these Chicago and get the drugs off the streets that we put on them. We don't need to go into these black communities and build treatment centers and help these people kick these drug habits that we forced upon them. Okay, you don't see that happening. So when I see stories like this, and she wants to look all pitiful and sad and victimized, and they want to play the little music in the background to pull your heartstrings to make you feel bad for these albinoid people, don't fall for it. You need to look at the flip side and say, are they doing this in black neighborhoods? Are they really focused on treating these people in the black neighborhoods? Are they going into these prisons and helping these black people get out of prison and get back into their communities, get back with their families? Because since we put drugs out in their neighborhoods for generations and generations, maybe we owe it to them to help them to get back on their feet. But you don't hear them saying that.
There's so many reasons why the repeal of this, the thoughtless repeal.
Sorry, guys.
There's so many reasons why.
I didn't read what was back there. Medicaid expansion may still be in jeopardy as the GOP-controlled Congress look to act on Obamacare. Even after failing to repeal it in March, many in recovery would be at risk. So this is what they're talking about. This is probably what, you know, they all voted against. You had all these white supremacists saying, oh, we hate Obamacare, let's get rid of Obamacare. But now that they see, oh, wait, now our insurance is in jeopardy. Because you have to think, these white supremacists, they work on hate. That's it. They want to deny Black people health care, and they want to deny immigrants health care and Mexicans health care and anyone except themselves. And they don't stop to think, how am I going to be affected by this? They don't even think about that. But now all of these people that decided to vote for Donald Trump, now it's backfiring, and now they're like, oh, okay, so now what am I going to do? Now my health care is in jeopardy. And now you even have their state's officials crying about it and saying, oh, okay, so my community is being ravished by this drug epidemic, and I need to do something about it. But oh no, I voted for Donald Trump, but now healthcare, what am I going to do when my entire community is sitting there on opiates and heroin and meth? What am I going to do now? You should have thought about that before.
There's so many reasons why the repeal of this, the thoughtless repeal of this without replacing it with something, would be a real tragedy, a human tragedy for the people who depend on it. It would be a tragedy for I think, our society and our economy. I think it takes real courage for a person suffering from substance use disorder to own up to it.
Did you guys hear that? Because now it's substance abuse disorder. I wonder who made him a therapist, because now he's diagnosing people with a substance. I have never heard of substance abuse being a disorder that it is now, since it is an epidemic in the white community. Do you guys see this? You guys need to realize this. They will change laws. They will change diagnosis. They will write a new DS5, whatever it's called. I don't know. They will change and make things mental disorders once it starts affecting the white community. But all the Black people that are locked up in prison for using drugs, they're just criminals and thugs and drug addicts. And now these meth heads and opiate heads and heroin addicts in the white community, they have a disorder. So they just need some medical treatment. Poor them, they're affected by a disorder that they have no control over. You have to pay attention to this, okay? So when Black people want to be like attacking other Black people, saying, oh, well, they're just drug addicts, they're this, they're that, you need to realize that society is built to destroy Black people and to keep building up white people. Okay, when they're on drugs, they're victims of a mental disorder or some kind of it's something that's not in their control. They're victims. When Black people are on the drugs that they themselves, white people themselves, our government themselves put in our neighborhoods and put out on the streets. But when Black people do these drugs because they're depressed already, because they're dealing with constant discrimination, constant racism, and you're constantly having to fight just to survive. But when you do the drugs that are handed to you by your government, then you're a criminal and you need to be in prison. Okay, this is not right. These white people are not victims. They're criminals.
Get out of denial and come in and say, I really need help. I need to have my medical condition addressed. And I think taking away
have you ever, every time I hear, this is my first. Now it's a medical condition. Let's see if they're going to go into the jails and prisons and help the Black people with their medical condition. Because they shouldn't be in jail for doing something that's just, you know, a medical condition. They should be in the hospital or, you know, sitting in a doctor's office somewhere. But you hear them using this medical condition now. Really pay attention. Black people really need to wake up and really need to pay attention to these double standards. And all these non-racist white people need to pay attention to all these double standards, and you need to be fighting against it. We need to see all these non-white supremacist white people standing up and saying, oh, wait, let's go in these prisons and these jails and help these Black people with their medical conditions, since we're now saying using drugs and being on drugs is a medical condition. That's what all these non-racist white people need to say. Hold up, let's go into these jails and prisons and help these victims of this medical condition. Let's do that.
Funding for the medical treatments they're getting is just one more thing that would say this really is a medical disease. It's a moral failing.
When I was in the last jail that I was in, I found out that Obamacare was about to be cut, and I completely freaked out over it. I was terrified.
Part of the recovery of Amanda is living in a house with other women who are also in recovery.
I'm Sarah. What's your name? I'm Amanda. Very nice to meet you. We're here to recover, not just
So just note of the people that you see in these recovery homes, because the Black people and the Mexican people are in recovery jail. Okay, just think of that. They're in jail. They're not in a nice. You're paying for this, just so you know. So all you non-racist white taxpayers, you're paying for this, but while Black people are sitting in jail for their medical issue, they're sitting in prison and in jail while they're sitting in these nicely decorated, lavish homes.
You know what I mean? And it's super cool. And right in here is going to be your room. This is all your stuff, and then this is your bed here.
The way that I was running my life before clearly didn't work. So I need a little help.
Try something new.
Yeah. I would hope that I would be able to stay clean, but outpatient at this point in my life, being here, this is key to jump starting my recovery.
So this is what you get, guys. You get you get to live in a nice luxury house if you're white and on drugs. Your drug addiction is a medical disorder, but only if you're white. Because if you're Black, you're in jail and you're a drug addict and a thug. If you're white, then you have a medical disorder that you need help, and so we're going to pay for you to live in this luxury house. So there's more information if you guys want to read this. Let's watch this video really quick. I don't know what it's about, but I'm kind of interested. If it'll play, that's the big thing.
The pressure, the arm twisting, the ultimate. They have all fallen short.
I will not sugarcoat this. This is a disappointing day for us. Doing big things is hard. All of us, myself included. We will need time to reflect on how we got to this moment, what we could have done to do it better.
House Speaker Paul Ryan deciding to pull the Republican Obamacare repeal and replacement plan, hours after traveling to the White House to tell President Trump directly he didn't have the votes to pass it, and warning, one source said, that the loss on the House floor could be big.
Obamacare is the law of the land. It's going to remain the law of the land until it's replaced. We did not have quite the votes to replace this law. And so, yeah, we're going to be living with Obamacare for the foreseeable future.
A jarring realization less than 24 hours after the president himself made his final offer. Vote now, or he's prepared to move on.
I think we have to let Obamacare go its way for a little while, and we'll see how things go. I'd love to see it do well, but it can't. I mean, it can't. It's not a question of, gee, I hope it does well. I would love it to do well. I want great health care for the people at the station. But it can't do well. It's imploding, and soon will explode.
Democrats taking a victory lap.
Frankly, I thought they might have accomplished something in the first couple of months. I think their mistake really was they were so focused on embarrassing the Affordable Care Act rather than trying to improve it.
The healthcare setback, a stunning turn of events from the cautious optimism of the morning.
How you feeling this morning?
So great.
Yeah. Do you guys think you're going to get the votes?
Yeah, we'll get it done today. And even a few hours after that.
This is just full of stupidity. This is a shit show for real. Clearly, we're going to have Obamacare for the foreseeable future. They have no problem with this health care. Let me just tell you, the only problem they have with Obamacare is that it's called Obamacare. Okay, and I promise you, what they're going to do is say, oh, since we're too stupid to really write out a plan and figure out how to actually change it, because nothing really needs to be changed too much, we're just going to call it Trump Care and just change the name. And then all the white supremacists and the Republicans will be happy because now it's called Trump Care instead of Obamacare. That's all they're going to do. It's ridiculous and disgusting, and I'm over it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this story. What do you think our government should be doing to fix the situation that they did in the Black community? What would you like to see them do to now that they've already agreed, which they've done a while ago, that they put drugs on the streets? The CIA put crack on the streets in the Black neighborhoods. What should they now do to fix that? Why are they now calling drug addicts? Why are they calling it a mental disease now? It's a mental disorder now that it's affecting the white community in such an epidemic, but they're not going back and saying, okay, let me go help all these Black people that we imprisoned over their mental disorder. What treatments and standards should they go in and put into these prisons? Or they shouldn't even be in prison. Honestly, they shouldn't be in jail or prison. They need to go into these jails and prisons and take these Black people out and put them in some kind of treatment center. Or what do you guys think? You guys tell me what you think. Please leave comments and like and subscribe to my channel, please. Please share this video on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram or whatever social media site that you guys have. I want to thank everyone for donating to my Patreon account. And again, the best thing you guys can do is share these videos. Let's get them out. Let's change the mindset of the Black community so that we can become stronger and more unified, so that we can end this white supremacist terrorism. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.